Hello there, attractors. For far too long, you have troubled yourself with trivial things. You get entangled in minor personal problems and allow your emotions to blow them out of proportion, making them more significant than they are. Often, what you think are big problems are an exaggeration of the actual problem in your consciousness. As a result, you create worse suffering for yourself by adding layers of despair and misery to the actual situation. Now, let's imagine that you have a reason to live in the jungle. You encounter a tiger, and immediately you are overtaken by fear as you worry about how to survive being eaten up by the hungry beast. Your heart starts beating fast, and you begin to run, hoping to save your life. The tiger sees you running and begins to chase you. Luckily, you spot a branchless tree and climb to the top as quickly as you can in order to escape. But the tiger attempts to rise after you. After a few unsuccessful attempts by the tiger, it gives up and goes away. Your fear and worry lessens every second until the tiger is out of sight, and after a while, your fear disappears and you return to your normal emotional state. Now let's talk about what just happened. You see, you were in a near-death situation. In other words, a problem that triggered a series of emotions, but you eventually made it through. And since that was your first experience with such a life-threatening problem, it's fair to say that the emotions you felt were justified. However, if such a situation should recur months later, maybe with a lion, what would you do given that you have been faced with a similar challenge with a tiger? But now, it's a different day and a different animal. Should you feel the same emotions you felt the first time? Or should you immediately respond by finding that same tree that saved you the last time and simply climb it? In other words, if your emotions did not save you from the tiger in your first encounter, why should it save you this time from the lion? I'm sure you would agree that after a few occurrences of facing a hungry beast, your responses would be different on each iteration, right? And why do you think that is? Well, because every time you saw the hungry beast, your emotional distress period would keep shortening as you would have learned how to overcome the worry feeling and just jump straight to dealing with the actual problem. Think about how the cavemen survived back in the day. Think about how many times they were faced with an identical challenge and how they learned to quickly overcome the emotional aspect of the trigger if they were ever going to survive. Think about how they would have had to teach their children to overcome the same sort of predicaments rather than living within the fear of it. Hopefully, this illustration helps you see that you do not have to go through the same emotional pain every time you are faced with a problem in your life. Instead of allowing yourself to constantly get triggered emotionally by every external event that happens, perhaps you should consider learning from your previous experiences and how you overcame them and use that as a guide to help you in the current problem, rather than going through the same emotional pain every single time. This phenomenon is referred to as building up your emotional strength. Now, of course, we are not suggesting that you become completely numb to your emotions when life-threatening issues arise, but what we are trying to say is that how you react to these issues matter a whole lot to your emotional and physical well-being. So it's important to become conscious of your reactions. You see, there will always be a new problem in your life or a new unpleasant situation that will come your way. This is just the way of life. You may not be able to ever avoid them completely, but you can choose how to respond to them because you have the power to do so. So it's high time you stop playing the victim when faced with challenges and started feeling good about the possibility of expanding your emotional capacity. Keep an eye out for our future videos where we will be teaching you more about this phenomena. For now, our wish for you is that you focus on enhancing your emotional capacity.